All right, it's time for Straight Up, right? Let's go.
She put a pot on she hair and gone. Them a the first one out on the dam. Basket on she head, bucket in each hand. Hold up on she frock, I wanna she grandson. To the market, them a go. For the morning, the day is dawning. For cockacrow to give the villagers a warning. Rise and shine, the birds them a sing. All animal take turn as them join in the waking. Cockacrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Cockacrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Come and hear this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country. All day a back down, me now a come home. Inaga, jackass yard for fetchy load. Cockle shy hand, bag over shoulder, running by his side, a Rexy and Rover. From the farm, them a come. Sun a go down but up the river. Some washing clothes, some folks are bathing at the water. Fisherman, they catch them a bring. From a canoe boat, man, them start offloading. Aymara, Kwakwari, Hail Baka Kuma Kuma, even Lokonani. Aymara, Kwakwari, Hail Baka Kuma Kuma, even Banga Mary. Listen to this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country. Them children glad when the weekend come. Out in the yard, them all gather round. Some a play catcher, some making house from straw. Two who come later, a grandma or grandpa. All a sit down just a wait. Moonlight so bright, it's just the right time to listen story or to say a little nursery rhyme. Grandpa voice a echo in the night as he tell some picnic are there with fright. Oh, Ligan, Mungeza, Masakurma, Buranansi, even Watamuma.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
If you are looking to have your statutory declaration, affidavit of income, identity, damage or lost passport, lost license, tenancy agreement, agreement of settlement, power of attorney, last will and testament, and certification of documents, then you need to visit the Alistair Collins firm, located at the Killian Mall, 162 Lamaha Street in Georgetown, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths and a justice of the peace. Make certain you visit him or call for more information at 649-6410 or 685-6448 or 503-1451. And there's adequate parking available. Go down to to the Alistair Collins firm and have all of your legal issues settled and brought to the fore. Alistair Collins Firm. Contact them at Alistair Collins Firm.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. It calls for us to think and think deep. The stage we are in as a country is not a stage where you become an onlooker. You have become an onlooker for too long. You must get ready to put your hands to the plow and be part of the process. It's not just about PVC, carry PVC. You must be in the kitchen where it is being determined. You must be there where the decisions are being made. If we are there in our numbers, they cannot outnumber us. But you leave it aloof. Oh, no, it's too dirty. It's a dirty game. And then the dirty guy is getting to the game of play. And you are there not showing up. And when they begin to make the decisions, you will know whether it's a dirty game or not. The result is always dirty on yours. Dirty on your health. Dirty on your business. Dirty on your success and your career. I hope that is stirring up something in you.
All right. Hey, guess what? Good evening. Let's get ready to rumble, right? Hope you've had a wonderful weekend. And look, what is it? It's 9 minutes after 9 o'clock in beautiful Guyana. Georgetown, Guyana is always beautiful. It's beautiful indeed. Good evening to folks who are in Guyana and those of you who are outside of Guyana. We'll give you about 30 seconds to share the link. You're not going to see my face unless you share the link. So I'm going to wait and have maybe about a couple of you to share the link before we actually get started. Thanks. I noticed guys like J.R. Crawford, who is always on time. And J.R. Crawford used to be late in school. I don't know. These guys used to be late in school. They used to be late when he started nursery school. He was late in primary school, secondary school. He was probably even late for his wedding. Who knows? But good evening to J.R. Crawford and all the other folks who are watching, who are listening, on the ground as well. Good evening to all of you. What is it? We see there's a Carol Peters. I don't know. It's the first time I'm seeing Carol Peters, but she's saying here, straight up family. It means that I may have missed you somewhere along the line. So we have Brenda, right? We have two Brendas. There's a Brenda Braithwaite and there's a Brenda Casey, right? And, lots of, let me see, more women than men. which is a good thing, right? More women than men. And so I can't identify all of the ladies, but good evening to all of you. Melinda Moore, good evening to you. And Yvette DeAndre, good evening. And Pam Halls and Barbara Major and Tessa and the whole crew. We even have Garfield. Well, Garfield, that sounds like a male name, right? Is Garfield a male name? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. Garfield is Garfield, a male or a female name? I don't know. Desiree Simon is saying, I don't know what's happening, but maybe we can have our technical guy to check this out. Still unable to share. I don't know why folks are unable to share, but it's okay. We can get on with our program, right? So good evening to all, every single one of you. And tonight, I just want it to be a nice and smooth night. Maybe like every other night, right? I want to involve you guys. I want us to talk about what's bothering you. But before I get to what's bothering you guys, I want to tell you guys what is bothering me this evening. All right, if we can have our operator, Lemon, if you can remove. Thank you, Desiree. I noticed you said Garfield is a male name. This is the first time that I'm actually hearing that Garfield is a male name. I've always thought that Garfield was a female name and Sean was also a male name until I ran into a girl who told me that her name is Sean. She was actually offering me her number and I said, no, thank you. Right. Good evening. I know I don't have the best of laugh, but Ramrati Jackdale, how are you doing? Ramrati Jackdale. Thank you, Delon Alexander. All you guys are filling me in to let me know that Garfield is actually a male name. And for some strange reason, I always thought that Garfield was a female name. Because once I was at a club that's called one of those clubs in Brooklyn, or maybe was it Q Club in Queens? And I was actually dancing with someone who whispered that her name was Garfield. So I always thought that Garfield was a female name. Do forgive me, guys. If it's a male name, then something must have gone wrong with that whisper, right? But all right, let's begin to go with our show. I'm just going to look at some of your comments. I want us to talk tonight, but putting all fun and joke aside, I always knew that Garfield was actually a male name. Come on, guys. I grew up on the countryside, and most of those country guys with coconut heads, they named Garfield, right? So let's begin. But before we begin, I noticed. Let me see here. Yeah, June Greaves. I know Garfield Sobers and the whole crew. I know. Come on, guys. Winston Smith, I see your comment, right? I see your comment. Lynette Nelson, I see your comment as well, your grandson. You guys are funny, man. Imagine you're dancing with someone and they whisper in your ears that they name. My name is Garfield. Call me later. Right. Savitri Rose, good evening. How are you doing? All right. So I want to find out what's bothering you about Guyana, whether it is the opposition or these persons who rigged their way into office. I'm Michelle Jones. I see you. Yeah. So let's talk. I want to have this discussion with you guys. We also have about Forbes Fraser. I'm just kidding, man. I have a weird sense of humor, right? So do forgive me. But look, the numbers are there. If you're in Canada or if you're in the US and you still want to dial that Canada number to get on to me, feel free to do so, right? Feel free to do so that you're able to get on to me. If you're in the UK right now and you want to call in, feel free to call. Let's have this sort of discussion. We open the lines. Like I have promised, hopefully soon we will get a Guyana number. We will get a Guyana number. Who is this guy? This guy obviously got to be born in the maybe 20s or something. He doesn't have a sense of humor. He obviously doesn't have a sense of humor. You guys, come on, deal with him, man, in the comment section. Aaron Fernandez? Who is Aaron Fernandez? Exactly, Michelle Jones. You guys deal with him. Gosh, can't have a better sense of humor. How you want me to start this show? Always serious? Oh, gosh, what's wrong with these guys, man? Whoever Aaron is, probably, who knows, maybe from Freedom House. Who knows? Gosh, these guys, they just try to just turn you off sometimes, right? But I don't allow these guys to turn me off. Let me see. Somebody start abusing already, right? Yeah, Mark Doris, I like what you're saying, replying to Aaron Fernandez. Reply to him indeed. Aaron Fernandez, no, a show for the comedians in government. Thank you so much for coming to my defense, Mark Doris. I really do appreciate that. These guys just jump out from God in heaven knows where, maybe some little trench corner, maybe some locked away in some basement. Let me see let me see what Sharon is saying. Aaron Fernandez, you need not to be here. Yep, deal with him. You guys deal with him. Gosh, Aaron Fernandez. All right, so what's bothering you? What can we talk about this evening? What can we talk about this evening? Let me know and let's begin. Whatever is bothering you guys, I think we should talk about it. And let us be straightforward. Let's just get straight to the point, right? Forget about Aaron Fernandez and those guys. There'll always be those kind of guys that pop up. God in heaven knows what's bothering them. Maybe didn't get through with something. Maybe didn't. I don't know. I just don't know what's happening with those kind of guys. But let's take our first call. I noticed that there's a call on the line. Caller, good evening.
Good evening, Sir John.
Yep, good evening. Good evening, sir. Yeah. What's bothering you tonight, sir?
Lots of things, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
The opposition is bothering me. The government is bothering me. The talk show host is bothering me. Everybody's bothering me, sir.
Before you begin, are you having a bad day, a bad marriage, or something? That everything is bothering you, sir?
All of that. My wife left me today, and she said she's going to marry a PPP man, and that's what pissed me off for.
Go ahead, sir. What else is bothering you? Thank you.
Because then the opposition should do what it's supposed to do. My wife would have to leave me to go to the PPP because she believes she's going to get a hamper. Could you imagine my wife is leaving me for a hamper? But I can't do it.
These guys, these strange set of callers, but remember, these guys are strange. Hamper. Oh my gosh, hamper. What else? These guys are strange. Look, if you call a protest, or when a protest is called in Guyana, you hardly have people who turn out. People don't care about those sort of things any longer. But you call a show. You go to this guy. I don't even know his name. Some man. Who is this guy again? Remind me, because you guys know I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy, right? I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. Somebody said that the first caller is actually a Bajan call-in. We have all sort of people call in. This guy. Yeah, somebody said that the first caller sounds like Mark Phillips. It could be. Somebody said it's Lemon. I doubt that's Lemon. Lemon is over in the studio doing his work. Oh yeah, thank you, Sharon. So this guy here. Oh no, that's Beanie Man. Okay. Beanie Man got fat, right? So you call a Beanie Man, you have a Beanie Man show, and just watch how many beanies are going to go out to that show. Hundreds of them, hundreds of them. And look, I'm not knocking young people. I do believe that people, should take off their shirt, their tie, their shoes, and dance and enjoy themselves. I'm not saying that at all. But you call a protest in Guyana or even in the US, and you watch the priority, watch people's priority. So Beanie Man had a couple of hundred folks at his show, right? He had a couple of hundred folks at his show, and they had fun. They had lots of fun. And I know some of you who are on this live right now were also at the show. I'm not going to call your names, but I saw a couple of you guys, right? I'm not going to call your names because y'all are supporters of the show. Every night you guys are logged on. So I'm not going to call your names, but it is what it is, right? So let's go. We hardly see folks at protest, but Beanie Man seemed to have had all the people who were supposed to be out there protesting. They may go out there protesting, but they were at Beanie Man show, right? Oh yeah. Okay, so Beanie Man, priority. Look, people should have fun, yes, but with all the things that's happening in that country, all the things happening in that country, can you imagine? But you say, let us stand up for our rights, right? Let us get the people out there to highlight the many problems in the country, whether it's GPL, whether it's poor internet service, right? Whether it's people who are getting pink slips. They were given their pink slips, and that was it. Months now they've gotten their pink slips, and nothing at all. Nobody cares, right? People are being slaughtered in the country. Nobody cares. People's rights are being violated. Nobody cares. There's no job creation. Nobody cares. Unless, of course, you're part of the private sector commission and the cronies of the PPP, not the ordinary rank and file supporters of the PPP, because they don't get anything. They don't even get crumbs. They get what appears to be crumbs, but it's nothing of substance, right? And so it's like there's no problem, none whatsoever in the country. Absolutely none. Sunil Pandey is saying that the people are happy. Nothing is happening. The people are very happy. Sunil, I disagree with you. The people are not happy. They are sad, but a lot of them are ashamed and a lot of them are afraid to come out and speak out. It is what it is. And let's face reality, Sunil. Don't run away from reality. It's probably okay for you to say that the people are happy, but they're not happy. Have you seen somebody smile, but deep down inside they're not happy? Have you ever seen that, Sunil? So don't say that because nothing is happening, that people are all happy. You might be right, because they don't want to do anything. They don't want to stand up for their rights. They don't want to speak out. Some of them are afraid to speak out. And some of them might be saying, if the politicians who are there to represent their interest aren't really representing their interest, so then that's it. Who are they to go out and protest? Because some folks basically say that politicians are all the same. They talk a good talk when they're out of office, but when they get into office, for the most part, it's a different kind of talk. It's like they go in there and Baku hold them down on that seat. So it's a different kind of talk, right? People have been talking about, look, this is, I don't know who this young lady is. People have a right. It's, to me, art. Dancing is an art. You know? Those sort of dance, it's an art, right? Nothing is wrong with that. Some of you might say, oh, it's slackness, but the intention is not to talk about slackness, because back in the days, folks like Lemon and maybe that individual who called would remember way back in the days when the walls and they squeeze in and hold up each other. That was an art back then. But there's a reason why I'm showing this here. Not to condemn those people who attended the dance, whatever PPP function that they had. No, but look at it again. Priority.
Mama gonna mash up the box. Take a tune and 5 people them box. Because through the box make out a hood. She feel like a hood.
Oh, sorry, I feel sorry for that box, right? But people seem to just don't give a damn. But yet a lot of them would come out on social media and they complain, oh, they haven't gotten their, cash grant, they haven't gotten their flood relief grant, or whatever it is, and discrimination here and there. And then you go out and you support events. You support events that are pushed by PPP folks. It's as though you just don't care about the suffering of maybe yourself, your family, your friends, your community, and all these different things. I don't know. But I just don't know. Let's move on, though. Let's move on. Don't want you guys to get carried away. Don't get carried away, guys.
Mama gonna mash up the box.
Pull up. Beanie Man said, pull up. She are gonna mash up the box. All right. But that's what's happening in Guyana, and lots of problems we do have in Guyana, right? Lots of problems, apart from Sue, apart from the corruption, apart from COVID-19, the pandemic, apart from tonight about 20 persons are in the ICU at the hospital. About 20 persons are there, and nobody seems to care. But that video that I just showed you is in Guyana, where we do have lots and lots of problems, but nobody seems to care. Or not a heck of a lot of folks. Maybe look at what's happening in other parts of the world where people have their priorities straight. They're standing up, they're protesting, and they're demanding justice. They're demanding the removal of dictator Putin forces in Ukraine. Look at these people. Look at these people. Look at these folks are standing up. Look at Berlin. Look at the hundreds of thousands of people that turned out. Look Amsterdam. Look at them. Look at these people. Look at them coming out. Look at what they're doing. They're protesting. They're fighting for justice. Some of them are fighting for their country. And look at all the problems in Guyana with corruption and bad oil deals and bad everything. No job creation. Thousands of people have been fired from their jobs. Persecution of individuals. And elections that was actually rigged and individuals were installed. The elections petitions cannot be heard, and all the problems in Guyana. All the problems in Guyana. Every single thing. You talk about it. It's happening. But nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. Whilst these people are concerned, these people want democracy to flow in their country and not to be invaded by a bully, a thug. in Guyana. Look at what is happening. But yet, yet. Right? I don't know. Again, this is not to condemn. This is not to insult anybody, because I'm sure the person who's dancing there obviously having fun. Meanwhile, nobody's concerned about Sue any longer. You're not hearing anything about Sue. Sue is gone. Sue seems to be history, right? He's gone. He just disappeared. That's it. The media is not talking about Sue. People are hardly talking about Sue. The opposition should have taken the part of the interview where the Vice News journalist asked Jack Dale about Sue and about allegations of corruption. That part of a tape should have been taken, packaged, well typed out by those folks in the opposition, taken to SOCU for an investigation to be launched. Nothing. We're not hearing anything. It's like everybody's happy. Like everybody's happy with what they have. Everybody's happy. Nobody's talking about Sue. I notice here, Hazeline King is talking, Hazeline talking about COVID, the COVID pandemic. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a damn. Who is hunting Sue down to find out from Sue directly, whether he said those things to the reporter, Vice News reporter? Nobody's hunting Sue down to ask him questions. Nobody, absolutely no one, right? And then you have this guy. This guy visited New York. Some of the women holding on to his hands, taking photographs with him and so forth, like nothing has happened. They get people playing the both sides, people playing APNU, AFC, PPP. Wherever they could go and get a bowl of soup, they are going to go and drink that soup. They will find things to justify it, but they will drink that soup. Trust me, there are folks who are playing it both sides. Not both ways, I'm saying both sides. They are drinking soup, right? Let's move on. We know who some of those folks are, right? Keep an eye out for them. Keep an eye out for them. We know who some of those folks are. Some of them are attempting to justify what this guy did in Parliament. As much as this guy went and probably told him some lies, about people telling him about his wife, about his sister. I doubt that there's any female in the opposition will sit there and allow even a male member of Parliament to curse anyone about their wife. I doubt that. Or to curse them about their sisters. I doubt that. So, I notice some female are attempting to justify, you got to hear the other side of the story. What other side? There's no other side. There's absolutely no other side. But we know who those folks are, right? Let's move on. Look at what's happening. This I brought to your attention last week. You guys already know this, right? You guys already are aware of this. So you're not invited. Folks from the rigged regime, the regime that has been installed by Mike Pompeo and his cohorts, says, look, no APNU AFC people were invited. No members of the opposition. Forget about this Flatfoot hustler Schumann. Forget about him. He's a PPP. He is Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, and he's also an advisor to one of the so-called ministers. He's an advisor in the regime, in the installed regime. So I don't know how that still makes him an opposition, but he received an invitation to go raise flag or whatever else he went to raise if he went there. But look, they didn't invite the opposition, as what the chief whip confirmed. Government excludes parliamentary opposition from Republic Day flag raising. The opposition is excluded from almost everything. Almost everything the opposition is excluded from. As much as the opposition is excluded, and the disrespect not only to the opposition, but to the majority of people who voted for the opposition. And of course, they're the majority who won the elections, but because of the PPP being installed, these guys are now in the opposition. And so they say, look, they were excluded. But there were some members of parliament who felt comfortable, as much as they were excluded, they weren't invited, but they felt comfortable to go and mingle with some of the quote unquote ministers and even address them as our ministers and all manner of things. And that's the confusion coming from folks in the opposition side. Confusion. I don't know, sending mixed signals to the people. But what else can we move on with? Venezuela. Are we going to talk about Venezuela? I've noticed that the Guyana Defense Force has issued a statement about some erroneous report in the media about some event out there with the Venezuelans, and that the Venezuelans are actually sending troops across Guyana border and all these manner of things. But I'll tell you what, this guy Barra Jagdeo shaking the hands of Venezuela dictator Maduro, two dictators shaking hands, right? Two dictator shaking hands. This guy Barra Jagdeo actually was prepared to give up a portion of Essequibo. Are you guys hearing this? I'm not sure if you guys would remember this, but Barra Jagdeo was prepared to give up a portion of Essequibo to the Venezuelans. He wanted to give up. He wasn't giving up a portion of himself, which probably would have been a good thing. It would have been consistent, anyways, with probably what we know of Jagdeo. Give up a piece of something. But he was prepared to give up a piece of something that doesn't belong to him, to give up a piece of Essequibo to Venezuela. He was prepared to do that. He was saying that we should work and cooperate. How the hell can you invite people to your land who are trying to covet your land and say to work together? There's nothing there, because Jagdeo doesn't know how Guyana was actually, built, and the sweat and the blood and all these things by folks who were from Africa through forced labor. We must not be afraid to speak our history, right? But this guy wants to give up a piece of Guyana. Look, the GDF issued a statement. I don't know whether that statement is basically to cover up. I don't know. And neither am I going to give my mouth liberty at all to say that the Guyana Defense Force is on a path of covering up reality at the border. However, if this other piece of, rumor is accurate, that Jagdeo is on the path again to negotiate with the Venezuelans in giving up a piece of Essequibo. In giving up again, we wouldn't be surprised if that is true, that he is currently in talks with the Chinese and with the Russians, along with the Venezuelans, to give up a piece of Essequibo. This is the dangerous game Barrett Jagdeo is playing. And if these reports are accurate, then it doesn't look good for Guyana. I'm telling you guys straight up, it doesn't look good for Guyana, because this guy will sell anything and anyone out. He's not concerned about PPP supporters. He's not concerned about Guyanese in general. He's just not concerned. He is not patriotic. He's all about the money and the money and the money and how he can make money and billions upon billions. That is what he's concerned about. But I hope he doesn't have a bank account in Russia. You know, many moons ago, he went to school in Russia. He got a degree in economics, probably outdated, but he attended university in Moscow. And then when he returned to Guyana, guess where he went and worked? He worked for Burnham. He worked for Burnham. Nobody discriminated against him. No one discriminated against him. He was given a job. He was able to survive. He made enough money that when he moved to Georgetown, the first time he moved to Georgetown on his own. Don't ask me whether he was living by himself or not. It's none of my business. But he moved to Georgetown on his own. And when he moved to Georgetown on his own, he wasn't living in a mansion. He couldn't afford a mansion. He couldn't. He just couldn't afford a mansion. Probably couldn't even afford a bicycle. So it's not like his parents or grandparents or somebody filthy rich in his family that died and left him with a bunch of money. He had nothing. He was living in a shop front in Kitty. A shop front in Kitty. That's where he was living. In a shop front in Kitty. So he didn't born with no gold spoon or in his mouth or some rich boy or nothing. All of these wealth, all of these things that he got it on the backs of poor, ordinary, working class people. That is exactly what has happened. So run away with it. Don't run away with anything at all. All right? Just don't run away with anything that he's some sort of a rich boy or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Absolutely not. All right. So, hey, it's 44 minutes after 9 o'clock. Get this crossing individual mansion that he got off the sweat and blood of hardworking Guyanese people. Hardworking Guyanese people. Get him off the screen. What else we can talk about? All right, let's go to this here. Let me see if you guys recognize these guys. Let me see if you know anything at all about the politics, your local politics. Do you recognize these folks? Do you recognize these folks? Let us see. Do you recognize these folks? All right, so let's go. The guy on the right happens to be the one who sits there as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd. He is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He actually was the one that said that they recognize Taiwan. A few minutes later, that was it. He was muzzled. Jagdeo, they came out to say, no, they don't recognize Taiwan. They recognize the one China policy. And weeks later, which happened recently, Jagdeo actually said that the recognition, the few minutes recognition of Taiwan was as a result of some low-level, low-key worker in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, without mentioning Todd's name. I was wondering whether Jagdeo, was describing Todd as low-key, some low-level worker. This guy Jack Dale is something else. Always speaking about low level, something low this, low that. But he's not talking about Sue though, right? Good. So the guy on the left is Raj Singh. Raj Singh is the former CEO of Gaisuco. He's from Unity Village, mind you. He's from Unity Village, where Jack Dale is from. So he's Jack Dale's friend. They're all boys together from the same village. And so Raj Singh, who was head of the ACG, a PPP group in the United States, but based in New York, called the ACG, which is the Association of Concerned Guyanese, ACG. Raj Singh headed that for a long time. And so the PPP awarded him by giving him a position of CEO of Gaisuco, right? CEO of Gaisuco, where he made over 15,000, maybe 20,000 US. 20,000 US. I don't know. 20,000 US per month. Plus lots and lots of benefits for the boys. And when the coalition got into office in 2015, Gaisuco was in a mess. Gaisuco had to be bailed out for billions of dollars as a result of Jack Dale's friends, Jack Dale and his friends destroying Gaisuco. That's reality. That's what happens, right? That's exactly what happened. But look at it this way. Raj Singh is back on the scene again. This time, Raj Singh is High Commissioner Designate to the United Kingdom. Another fat cat job where he will go there, he will get a hefty paycheck, a budget, of course. Just like that little boy that is the Guyana High Commissioner to India. We don't know what he does. What's his name? Charan Das. He's in India. God in heaven knows what he does. Probably enjoying the nightlife in Mumbai and so forth, enjoying the nightlife, right? Outside of that, what does Charan Das do to actually say that he earns his salary at the end of the month on the backs of hardworking taxpayers of Guyana? And so Raj Singh is set to head off to the United Kingdom as Guyana's High Commissioner. Watch out for the naming of a couple more persons. Check them out. Check out all of the PPP guys with no experience, absolutely no experience, none whatsoever. But you're taking them and put them there, all because you want to give jobs for the boys. That's exactly what is happening. And let me check out what's bothering some of you guys, right? Let me see. Some of you guys, Mary O'Brien is saying he will be going with a piece of Essequibo. I don't know. I'm looking at some of your comments. I'm just looking at some of your comments, trying to figure out what are some of the other things that bother you guys. I'd love to hear what's bothering you guys. Is there anything in Guyana that is bothering you guys? Anything at all? Tonight is your night. I want to read your comments. I just want to read your comments. Somebody saying front shop, front to mansion in how many years? Well, good question. Good question. In how many years? Just a couple of years. Just a couple of years. Many folks will agree with what Gorik is saying here. a pack of gangsters. That's what they are. That's who they are. A pack of gangsters. Somebody saying, Miss Hackett is saying, everything in Guyana is bothering her. Every single thing in Guyana is bothering her. You know, whilst we thinking about everything is bothering you, Miss Hackett, and of course, lots of other folks, don't forget to offer a word of prayer. These folks, they are still missing. They are still missing. Those folks in the regime are still quiet. They are quiet about the situation. I don't know. They're just quiet about almost any and everything. I want to get on to a family member to possibly to find out if there's any new development concerning the whereabouts of these missing fishermen. Hardworking, ordinary guys. Yes, good evening. You're actually live on the air. Can you give us an update? Any word yet as to whether they locate these guys, your husband and others?
No, we didn't get any update on anything.
Absolutely no update. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Okay.
All right. That's the wife. Yeah, sorry about that. That's the wife of the captain, and the captain is the guy in the red shirt there. Continue to pray, because something, in my opinion, something is fishy about this. Something is fishy about this here. This entire situation with these fishermen, something is definitely fishy about what's happening or what has happened with these guys. All right, so what else is bothering you guys? Is there anything else that's bothering you guys before we go? Because we are looking at the time, and we want to get off at exactly 10 o'clock, which is just about a little under 7 minutes. Let me see what Gladys Prasad is saying. Let the opposition take their suits off, take up arms, and fight. Well, look, I'm not sure that we're at that point of taking up arms and these sort of things, right? I understand how you guys feel. I understand the frustrations, right? Don't get me wrong, but it is something that we definitely wouldn't advocate here, the picking up of arms and all these different things, except you just arm yourself with your Constitution and probably your Bible, your Bhagavad Gita, your Quran, or whatever else, or arm yourself with the knowledge, arm yourself with bravery, the courage, and these sort of things. That's what I would support. But we'd want to be responsible in terms of our comments about picking up arms and these sort of things, right? Because we are a peaceful people. In fact, we are very, very peaceful people. Let's see what Diane Yearwood is saying. Everything in Guyana is bothering her. Nothing positive is happening there. Maybe a couple of things that are positive happening. Maybe it's happening out in the countryside, maybe in Linden, maybe in Berbice and these things. The ordinary people, positive things coming from them. But those who are in the political arena, especially these in the rigged and installed regime, everything seems to be hectic, totally hectic. Let's see what Tony Hack is saying. Tony is saying, Mark, they ain't even picking up boots. I don't know. Honestly, Tony, I don't know when was the last time. I'll be honest with you, right? I don't know when was the last time I heard anything on this program by members of the opposition, anything about boots on the ground. Nothing about boots on the ground. It's done with. It looks as though boots on the ground was only for a particular period. And now that is over with. No longer are we hearing boots on the ground or anything. It is done with. It is done with. Right? It is done with. I don't know. Let's see what GT Starboy is saying. GT Starboy. There's GT Rude Gal. I don't know where GT Rude Gal is, but there's GT Starboy. Says, pray for that country. Every day is something. Is one thing to the next. Since this so-called government stole their way into office. I got you, GT Starboy. I got you. And a lot of people support you in saying that they stole their way into office. They were installed. Thanks for your comment, GT Starboy. Appreciate it. Vanessa Hackett seemed to be what? On a roll tonight. She's saying here, Vanessa is saying here, the opposition wrap up and tangle up. You probably say some of them wrap up and tangle up and tie up and all these different things. I wouldn't disagree with you. Trust me, I wouldn't disagree with you at all. Some of them not only wrap up, they tangle up, they tie up, they knot up, they soup up, all manner of things, right? Look at this. Miss Booker is saying something fishy with those fishermen' death. Assuming that they died. I don't want to jump out and say that they're dead. Even though it's 10 days now, going on 11 days, I still want to remain optimistic about the situation. For some reason, I want to remain optimistic, right? For the family's sake. Some of the family members are listening to the show and they are holding up. They are still keeping hope alive that their loved ones are still alive. And I want to join with them and, keep my fingers crossed that indeed they are still alive and somewhere, and hopefully they will return soon. But it's 11 days now. 11 days now. Anything can, it doesn't seem that the positive wind is blowing in the family's direction. But like I said, I want to erase that and join with them to stay optimistic, even though it's 10 days going on 11 days since they have been missing. And the story, according to the lone survivor, is rather conflicting, lots of holes in it. I don't know if the police who question him have figured out that they have lots of holes and inconsistencies based on what I've heard. Inconsistencies in what he has to explain. Let me see here what Clive Fraser is saying. Clive Fraser. It's very depressing. We in New York, especially the Brooklyn folks, is doing our part. I'm getting angry. Clive Fraser says he's getting angry, right? The PPP, they're allowed, and they go to Queens and they're quite happy. And then they go to New Jersey and they're quite happy. And then there are the soup drinkers who make them happy, who facilitate them. And then there are friends of the soup drinkers who, instead of push for a protest in New Jersey, in Queens, they seem quite comfortable with just a protest with a few folks in just Brooklyn because they're friends with the soup drinkers and they don't want to offend the soup drinkers in New Jersey or Queens or whatever. They don't want to offend folks, right? So I'll talk about that some other time, man. I will talk about that some other time. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in this evening. And like I've asked you earlier, to pray for the fishermen. Safe return. It's going on 11 days. We still got to keep hope alive and pray for their safe return. I just spoke with the wife of the captain who is in red there, and she has said no word at all. None whatsoever. So let's quickly check this comment by Miss Simons saying, remember the boat with dead bodies? Oh, yep, that's people seem to forget. Guyanese seem to forget everything because every day there's one controversy to the next, one to the next. The DPP has ordered charges against a policeman that was chasing the driver of a vehicle that died along with a young lady in the car. The DPP has advised charges right away, swift. But she took a while to even recommend charges for lots of other matters, including the policeman who killed, the SWAT team members who killed that businessman Oren Boston out there in Essequibo, and other matters. But this was swift, right? Somebody's saying here, let's see what Kenneth Thomas is saying. Good night, Mr. Thomas. He's saying, Mark, just a suggestion. The Guyanese nation should start looking at a female presidential candidate for Guyana. I personally believe that would be a great thing for all our people. Oh, gosh. And then now the big question is, who? Who? Well, one will have to probably emerge from somewhere out of the blue. Honestly, somewhere from out of the blue. I don't know. Somewhere from out of the blue, right? Somewhere from out of the blue. Look, it's 3 minutes after 10 o'clock in beautiful Guyana. And I just want to thank you all. If any one of you celebrating your birth anniversary, happy birthday to you. If anybody, some sort of death in your family, my condolences, or whatever it is that you're celebrating, whatever anniversary. Happy anniversary. Speaking of anniversary, to Lemon and his beautiful wife, Doris. Happy anniversary to you guys. And thank you all for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, same place, same time. But don't forget that tomorrow morning, right? Guess what? There's this mid-morning show that we have right here on 107.1 FM with Gabby and Selector Andre. And then they have Josh, and Josh is the political brains, the guy with the political brains, right? And then there is Earl, right? So tune in tomorrow morning. But before we go, let me run a little ad for these young people, man. Let's give them a free plug, right? Where is the ad? Here it is. You're going to school. Our 2022 registration. This is a music class, music teachers. They are asking, once you're in Guyana and you want to enroll your little ones, they're located in 17 Thomas Land. Teach your kids the drums, keyboard, bass guitar, rhythm guitar, voice training, every single thing. Give these people a call. Look, the ad is right there. Give them a call. Some young people, job creation, you help them survive, right? And they're good people. They're good teachers. The drums, keyboard, bass guitar, rhythm guitar, give them a call, guys. So instead of sending your money for your folks to go and sport up on all these things, send the money and let them enroll the little kids in music classes. It's only, look, the fees, $15,000. What is $15,000? It's just about 60 US, 70 US. That's just about it. Go out and support these young people, please. I've got to go. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. Until then, God bless you all. God bless our beautiful country. And let us also pray for the slaughtering of innocent people in Ukraine by that dictator, Putin, a friend, a good friend of, an admirer of Donald Trump. All right. So I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. God bless you.
attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
I'm in the mood, I'm feeling rude, I'm feeling hot, I want to run. The feeling exciting, so darling, let's do something. I want to rub my body on your body. Body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I want to rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love him. I wanna rub and kiss him. I wanna rub and jam him. I wanna rub and rub him. I wanna rub my body on your body. Rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body. Rub my body on your body. I just get paid. I want to play. The vibes is right. I wanna hug up tight. No time to waste. I wanna work my ways. So come on, babes. Give me a taste. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love him. I wanna rub and kiss him. I wanna rub and jam him. I wanna rub and rub him. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Pulling on. I'm feeling, 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 I'm feeling.